One more thing. According to rumors, the Pelicans are open for business. Nobody is untouchable. Should the Mavericks go all in on Herb Jones this time? We'll talk about that and more today. Locked On Mavs. One more thing.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about Frank.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah. Welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Joining me, as always, the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I'm ready to talk about a player whose nickname on Basketball Reference is Straight Jacket.
The Basketball Reference nicknames are ridiculous.
There could be a whole podcast about it.
The
They're
Ben
insane.
Simmons ones are some of my favorite basketball content that's out there. Have you ever looked at the Ben Simmons one?
No.
I'm going to hijack this just for a second because we're talking about this.
All right.
Simo the Savage, Young Socialite, Fresh Prince, Peacemaker, Benny, The Yank, Big Ben, The Wizard of Oz. No one has ever called Ben Simmons any of those things.
Kevin Harlan breaks those out all the time.
Does he?
No.
Maybe. I didn't think so. Today's episode, we're going to get into, there's a rumor going around that the Pelicans are open for business, that nobody's untouchable on their roster. And so you start looking through, and obviously Zion is going through the situation Zion's going through, and we're not going to talk about that. That's not going to be a scenario for the Mavericks, obviously, or probably any team until that gets solved and decided in court and all that. But you start looking around, and the Mavs have had interest in Herb Jones in the past. He's making $14 million next year, $15 million the year after that, the next 2 years. And the Mavs have been connected to him in the past. They've been rumored to want somebody like that. They really do need like a high level point of attack defender. Like that's one thing we've talked about over and over again, looking at these playoffs and looking at the team. And so to upgrade at that position, getting a 26-year-old Herb Jones, is it time, Isaac? Is it time for them to finally go in on getting Herb Jones?
I mean, I'm all about it. I mean, he's 26, and I mean, arguably the best wing defender, one of the best wing defenders in the league, with that length and size. I mean, think in my mind, I'm thinking like a better version of Dereck Jones Jr. And you know, the contract number is really good at that 14 mark. The question for it is just, you know, if New Orleans is willing to trade him, which I just don't even know what direction they're going in, right? Like,
they don't either.
Well, they have like, you know, a new regime there. They got to figure out, are they going to sell off some pieces? Or are they going to go the young? I don't know. Are they still going to try to ride this line and try to go for it and compete? They traded Brandon Ingram, obviously, and DeJounte's still hurt. And I mean, so is there an interest in a Daniel Gafford there?
Bruce Brown is on their cap sheet.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a free agent, but I mean, he was like 20 something million or something, or right at 20 million. And then he's probably going to be like a minimum player next year. But
for the Nuggets, he's definitely going back to the Nuggets.
Well, so I just for Herb Jones, like what's the cost? Like I just have no clue.
I know if it was Gafford and 2 first-round picks, would you do it?
Oh, nope. Because at this point, it's like, all right, so you trade for Herb Jones. Is he starting at the 2?
Yes.
Okay, so he's starting over Klay.
I think so.
So
because defense wins championships.
We were a shooter away from winning the title.
We were a Herb away. We just need our herbs and seasonings.
I go back to that sometimes of like, you lose the finals, and the main thing is like, man, we were a shooter away. If we had another shooter, I could have. But then don't get me
started.
Anyway,
somebody posted the Western Conference Finals like trophies celebration from last year, and Nico talked about how good the Mavs culture was. So anyway, continue.
That one series.
Stop talking about the Luka trade all the time. Stop talking about the Luka trade all the time.
You bring it up all the time. I try to tell you not to bring it up anymore. I'm not big. Okay, so he starts at the 2. Are you worried about shooting at all? Like
definitely.
I mean, he's a 30% 3-point shooter last year, like a little over 3 a game. So him, Cooper Flagg, AD, Lively. That's why I'm saying, like, I just don't know if you can get away with him starting whenever you have, like, it's just really difficult to have two non-shooters in the lineup, and having him and Lively would be kind of tough unless it's stretch 5 Lively season.
Yeah, unless they're gonna unleash him. And then even Anthony Davis can shoot the three, but he's not like a reliable.
Even Cooper Flagg, no.
Right? Like, I mean, but Cooper Flagg is gonna be first year, and we know he shot 38% last year, and there's the number going around 44% in conference play from three and all that, but we don't know how he's going to translate to the NBA. It usually takes guys a minute to try and translate the different, it's a different length from the 3-point line in college to the NBA. And so I think I'm with you. I don't think it's time for Herb Jones yet, because I think that this roster needs offense really bad, and they needed it even before getting Cooper Flagg, and now I think they need it even more in certain spots. It is interesting though that you would do Gafford and a first for Kobe White and not Gafford and like 2 firsts for Herb Jones, when Herb Jones is an all NBA defender.
I mean, Lou Dort's an all NBA defender too, and they might just trade him this offseason. So
because of salary.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think the need for Kobe White is so much more. This also goes into philosophy differences. I think you just got to be able to score with the best. I think offense is more important than defense in today's NBA. So, yeah, I don't think there's like that big of a difference between those two guys. It's just a matter of like, hey, do you need more offense or you need more defense? But that's why I'm saying if the price was right, I would take Herb Jones, and especially if it was like, hey, Gafford in a first, I would really be thinking about it, just because even if you're like, man, I don't know, the fit's kind of clunky, whatever, you always need a guy like that. And to be able to have that flexibility, also it feels like there's some like demon above me.
Like you keep looking around at this bug.
There's nothing above me, but this shadow just keeps like, it's like, is there some presence? Do I need to break out some exorcism stuff right now?
Get the holy water out.
The flexibility, if you had a Herb Jones, to be able to look at you're always looking at in the playoff time is like, who's your top 7? Who's your top 8? And to be able to look at it and be like, all right, we have, these guys of Naji and Max and Herb Jones and PJ and Cooper Flagg, and to have all of these options on the perimeter, I think would just be amazing. So I'm definitely all about him. I like him. I'm not giving up 2 first. I'm not breaking the bank for him. But I'm still pretty open.
Coming up, let's get into what the team would look like if they did decide to do Herb Jones, and we'll get into that more. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Monarch Money. I enjoy Monarch Money because I use it to manage all my different financial venues, like, I don't know, arms. Like, there's different things. I have all kinds of stuff in there: accounts, investments. I have my 401k, I have my mortgage, I have my student loans. Like, there's so many different things, credit cards, savings accounts. There's just so many different things where money is going all around each place. And I love that it helps you figure out where everything is going. It's a complete financial command center, and it stops you from just managing your money, but also building wealth at that point, which is great. And that's what we're all trying to do with money and all that. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's one more thing. Bonus episode of Locked On Mavs. We're talking about Herb Jones. And if the Mavericks did decide to do Herb Jones, and did decide if they got a good deal, like it was Gafford in a first, maybe they decided that. And because the Pelicans got wind that, hey, he's not going to sign any kind of extension or something like that, then all of a sudden, you have, like you said, so many wings. You almost have too many wings. But the thing that's good about having too many wings is you can still bookend Kyrie and Anthony Davis, and any combination of the 3 like players, like 3 wings that we've mentioned, can play with them in some way. Look at all the players that are playing right now in the finals, right? You have, like, even going all the way down to a Case and Wallace, who's more guard size, but Case and Wallace, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, SGA, like there's so many different players that can play, or Alex Caruso, that could just all play together in different combinations. That's what you need. That's what you need in the playoffs, is those different types of combinations of different players that can all play in there. And the Mavs would have Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, Herb Jones, Max Christie, Naji Marshall, Caleb Martin. Like, that's 6 wings that you can put in all kinds of different. Like, honestly, 3 of those guys can play together with Anthony Davis, Kyrie, or with Kyrie and Lively, or with Brandon Williams and Lively. Like, it really doesn't matter. But that's the case for doing it, is you upgrade immediately at that point of attack. You would have the most elite.
What's the case for doing it?
You would upgrade immediately at the point of it. The case for doing it. You'd upgrade immediately at the point of attack. Kids are listening to this show. Your kids.
They're asleep right now. All right.
That you'd upgrade immediately at the point of attack. Get elite point of attack, elite rim protection. Like, you have elite defense all around the court. Like, you would rival the Thunder for the best defense in the NBA for sure if you got that. And then,
all right, can I give you some options here?
Options for trades?
You tell me what you're.
All right.
If you're like, hey, off limits. Klay for Herb.
Just straight up?
Yep.
Wow, tough. Yeah, you also save some money. You get 10 years younger in that, and you get elite defender. Like, I know the shooting is held up by Klay right now, but I'm thinking more forward with that deal than I am about right now, even.
PJ for Herb.
Yes. Would you do it?
Sound like some cow off.
Oh, I'm
Babe.
I have a hard time giving up PJ.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you could kind of see like the sides of it, right? Of like, hey, if Dallas isn't confident in if Dallas isn't confident in a PJ extension later on, maybe they want somebody that can guard the opposing point guards, more of a point of attack defender that can get a little bit lower and lankier and stuff, like a Derek Jones Jr. type. I don't really know the route for New Orleans in that. What if they look at it and it's like, all right, we kind of want to reset that spot, even though Herb is just 26. Yeah. What if there's something around Gafford and Max Christie for Herb and like another contract in there? It's kind of hard to match up because, they have like a Kelly Olynyk. It's at 13. That doesn't fully match up with Herb's. I mean, you could look at an Alvarado, which I'm a fan of him. I like him on a cheap deal.
Let's say then you get a point guard at least.
Yeah, but even Alvarado, takes you up to like a 19 million. I mean, that would get close. You might be able to do it there. Alvarado and Herb Jones for Gafford and Max Christie.
Yeah, I think I would do that.
Okay. Because that's something I could see more realistic with no picks attached. Because I think New Orleans could look at me like, hey, Max Christie, he's younger, 22, better offensive player and stuff. Like, it's more of like and then they're looking at Gafford and it's like, how do they feel about Messi and stuff? And you add another big and stuff there. And for Dallas, you're looking at it and saying, all right, like, we're kind of consolidating into a locked in guy that we know is going to be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah. Interesting.
You're still thinking about it. I wouldn't do Omax.
I'm still thinking about the PJ one, to be honest. Pretty sure I would do that, but
I'm just kidding about Omax, guys. I mean, there's no scenario in which you would do I wouldn't either, but it's like a Herb Jones and 2 firsts for Lively.
Herb Jones and you get 2 firsts?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Man, that was tougher than I thought it was going to be.
You thought about that for a little bit.
I did think about it. You're getting an elite wing defender. That's a premium, and you need them in the playoffs. It's just.
I think because of because of their commitment to the double big and Anthony Davis as your 4 and not the 5, I think I would lean away from doing that because once again, they need a center to play alongside AD.
Well, you still have Gafford.
Yeah. Yeah. My only thing with Gafford is like you just saw him get played off in the playoffs, and that's my biggest worry about that. But I love Gafford, especially love Gafford as like a backup big. I've said this all along. If Gafford's willing,
sorry,
what? No, go.
He got played off in some series, but he was effective in some of those other series too. It's not like he was completely unusable in the playoffs. I just want to make that clear about him is that
No, for sure. It's not a can't play Nurkic.
Yeah, there's some matchups where he struggles for sure, but then he can be good in other ones too.
Yes, and we love Daniel Gafford. It's just it comes down to the contracts of like if they're going to go out there and try to trade for somebody, it's probably going to have to use one of those contracts of PJ and Gafford, and I think PJ is just more valuable to the team. If Gafford's willing to like right now sign an extension that's around what he makes and stuff right now, then sign me up all day, any day for that. It's just you can't blame Daniel Gafford. If I'm him, I'm wanting at least $20 million a year. As a starting center in the league, and he's played himself into that. So I just don't know if he's going to be able to get that in Dallas with Lively and AD.
Yeah. You got any more?
No, I did that exercise by saying I think there's different iterations there depending on how bad Dallas would want a Herb Jones, assuming he's healthy and stuff coming off the the shoulder injury and stuff. So I think there's just different combinations there that I could see them. I don't think they're ever trading Trey Murphy, at least not right now. But there's some combinations there. I could see Dallas and New Orleans. Just like I've said all along that I think Dallas and Chicago should hold a long phone conversation and talk about a bunch of different iterations of things.
Yeah.
I think they should do the same with New Orleans because there's multiple players there with Alvarado, even like a Kelly Olynyk if they end up moving off of Gafford as a backup big. I still like Jordan Hawkins, obviously Herb Jones. Like there's just multiple players there that I think could be useful to Dallas.
Worth a shot. We'll see what happens as the offseason goes. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. It's one more thing.
Peace out.
Boom.